Right-wing ideology has invaded yet another queer space. Motherfucking Grindr.
Story time. So I have a pretty crazy connection to this whole Grindr thing. My day job is in tech as a UX designer, and I work for pretty big companies to build them apps and software and stuff like that. A year and a half ago, I was contracting at Disney, building them software, and they were about to offer me a full-time job internally. Of course, I wanted to look at the job marketplace, look at other companies, make sure that I was getting the right fit, salary, compensation, all that jazz. Grindr happened to be one of those companies. I went through the whole application process, did my interviews, they offered me a job. I really liked the company, the people that I talked with were super cool. But I ended up choosing Disney. It was just more of a fit for me. The compensation made more sense, all that stuff. Cut to more recently, when Disney laid off about 7,000 employees. In the third round, my job was affected, so I was back on the job market. I reached out to my contacts in Grindr like, hey, what's up? You guys hiring? I really liked you guys back in the past. I would be open to considering a job with you guys. They were about to post a role that made a lot of sense for me, and so I was kind of patiently waiting for that to pop up. Now, here's the thing. I began chatting with a lot of Grindr employees that I knew through social media, the interview process, all sorts of places. The sentiment was not good. They told me about the recent unionization effort, and about 1 week into all this discussion, the news dropped. They were forcing relocation for all of their employees into certain hubs based on what kind of role you were. Whether you were a designer, you moved to LA. If you were an engineer, you moved to Chicago. Now, I'm in Chicago, so I was like, okay, no big deal. I'll go in with the engineers. I'll go to an office. That's fine. But no, this candidacy, which had previously been remote for me, which I would be able to stay in Chicago, work with my employees remote, cool. That turned into a forced relocation. So I had to contemplate whether moving to LA was the right thing for me. Now, it was super frustrating because there are engineers at Grindr in Chicago, and I could just go into the office with them, sit next to them, and work with my designers across the country. I've worked on remote teams for years at Disney. It works. We do fine. I asked if staying in Chicago was a possibility for me because I have a lot of family here, friends. I didn't really want to uproot my life to LA. Grindr was not allowing any employees to stay remote. I had a big long think about it, and it wasn't appealing to me. I don't like the decisions that the company has made recently. I wasn't willing to uproot my life to go take a chance on a company that has so much internal strife right now, and ultimately, I would rather keep looking for jobs than be at that kind of company. So yeah, that's my story. Still in the job market, but chilling in Chicago, happily.